got fantasies.
Welcome back to the place where we think all the deep thoughts about all the shallow things until we have been put below the ground and turned into worm food. Welcome back to the Deeper Issues Nerdcast.
Too sexy, please don't do it.
I am getting used to, I guess, hitting the buttons here on my own. My name is Pablo Romero Estevez. If this is your first time joining us, what we do here is we take the weekly geeky zeitgeist, we nerd explain, and make it accessible and digestible. So no nerdy background necessary to hang out with your total newbie or level 99 pop culture wizard. Myself and my panel of nerd explainers, tonight's episode, myself, we have a PhD in pop culture in order to be your geeky guides discovering what kind of nerd you really are. So welcome to the gateway to all things nerdy, no gatekeeping allowed. Welcome back to Deeper Issues Nerdcast. Live to the audience still. All right, okay, calm down. This is the part where I normally introduce my nerd-splaining panel, my zeitgeist zealots, my panel of true believers, but my normal co-host, Olivia Didi King, the good Didi, the only safe Didi in North America at the moment, is down and out. She's fallen. She is sick. She, I think, has also given into the cha-chas. Ty, I think, got a little bit better, but then also his family got sick. But that's okay. Wish them all the best. Let them get strong and healthy. And we will be back to our regularly scheduled program starting again next week. This is weird. I need to wear these headphones. I normally have to kind of hear myself, make sure I'm doing okay, I guess. So I'm going to put the headphones on. Yeah. So it's just me this week, and it's fine because I just kind of wanted to do a quick episode, some updates, if there's any potential questions, anything that we can answer, because we do have a lot of really cool, exciting things coming up for the Deeper Issues Nerdcast, as well as DINC video here. Yeah, we have this coming Friday, actually. This is another reason, I guess, why it's all right. We have a lot of preparation to do because we will be doing another pop-up at the Frida Cinema. We're going to be there during their double feature of Friday the 13th Part 1 and Part 2. Very exciting. We do have 3 Friday the 13th this year. And I guess we'll talk about we have plans for 2 of them. The first one being the Frida Cinema double feature on 4th Street in Santa Ana, California. If you've never been to the Frida, it is an art house cinema. It is a nonprofit. Welcome, by the way. I guess I should have probably waited for people to start joining in here to the chat. I will be, look, normally I don't keep an eye on chat as much. But considering that my 2 co-hosts are out for the evening, I will do my best in keeping up with the chat and maybe answering any questions, some exciting things. Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate that. Yeah, we have a pretty exciting couple of weeks, months, exciting, hopefully year ahead of us for the Deeper Issues Nerdcast. As I mentioned, thank you. I appreciate that, King Zo. As I mentioned, we have the Friday the 13th event coming up at the Frida in Santa Ana. We're going to get there, I want to say around 5 o'clock. We're going to do exactly what we do every time. The lovely folks at the Frida Cinema are kind enough to lend us their space so we can turn their lobby. Hello, Annie Lane. Yeah, the folks at the Frida Cinema, they're screening those Friday the 13th films, and they're giving us access to their lobby to turn it into a video store. If you have yet to check out one of our DINC pop-ups, or as people have been calling them, DINC, or as my wife likes to call it, Rinky Dink. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. They're a lot of fun. We have that neon glow nostalgia for lovers of physical media, for lovers of film, for lovers of nostalgia. We have those really cool VHS pop-ups. And we have a lot of them. That VHS pop-up that we kind of did as a little side project here on the Deeper Issues Nerdcast is really, it's snowballing. It's picking up steam, and I love it. I love meeting people. I love connecting with people over media, over fandom, over things that they love. It's been a super awesome experience. We have our storage unit that is turned into a wonderful video store that you can make an appointment to, I guess, come and spend some time there, shop out some tapes if you'd like, get hands-on with some physical media. But we'll be there on Friday the 13th at 5 o'clock. They'll be doing that double feature. Love that first Friday. The first two Friday the 13th movies are pretty special. If you've never seen them, look, this isn't a spoiler because the movie's been out for some time, but the first one introduces that really great premise of the legend that is Jason Voorhees. And often not, if you are a child of the 90s like myself, one of the trivia questions that Ghostface asks one of his victims before unaliving them is, who was the killer in the original Friday the 13th movie? And Drew Barrymore goes ahead and answers that it was Jason Voorhees. And unfortunately, she loses that game because, as it turns out, the killer in the first Friday the 13th movie is actually Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mom, coming back to punish all the camp counselors that were unattentive because they were busy sinning with their premarital ways while her son drowned. The second one dives a little bit more into the supernatural element and kind of gives birth to the Jason Voorhees that we know. Really cool double feature. That's happening at the Frida and the lobby. We'll be there. I have a bunch of Friday the 13th VHS. I have the first one, which I want to say was the 1990 reissue, which is probably one of the least popular covers, to be honest with you. It's like an orange, fiery cover. It's not that classic, iconic cover that we are so used to seeing, which is the silhouette of the slasher in the film with like the Camp Crystal Lake and the beautiful like scenery. Pardon me as I pop open this Waterloo. But I have a couple copies of that. I have a couple copies of Friday the 13th, 5, 6, 7, as well as I have a boatload of DVDs of Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, which is really cool because it comes with 2 pairs of 3D glasses. You can take it home. If you loved Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2 so much, I'll have copies of of number 3 with 3D glasses for you to enjoy the experience as it was intended by those filmmakers. Oh, look, actually, I have a copy of the Friday the 13th. Yeah, this is one of 3 different covers that Friday the 13th had. I want to say this is the 1990. Oh, you know what? This is a 2001 one. There was a 1994 one as well. I guess this is a 2001 reissue on VHS, and it's so funny. Paramount Home Video, 555 Melrose Avenue, Hollywood, California, 90038. Crazy. I used to live on Melrose Avenue. Yeah, so we have a lot of Friday the 13th, but this is the movie. It's a really nice VHS. You can get that lovely. I constantly tell people that VHS is like the vinyl record of film. But we'll have a couple copies of this guy on VHS. We have some Jason Takes Manhattan. We have Freddy versus Jason, as well as a boatload of other really cool vintage horror VHS tapes. Now, on top of that, recently, there's a cool little announcement. Over at DINC Video, the Deeper Issues Nerdcast here have had the opportunity to partner with Katie of Katie Video. If you guys don't know about Katie Video, Kadi Video. Katie is a crazy talented artist that is also in this physical media VHS community. And what she does is she does recreations of certain films of VHS tapes. So you can actually get like a redistributed Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is a Katie Video. Killer Clowns. Now, Normally, this VHS tape can range anywhere between $150 to $300, depending on the condition. What Katie did in this instance is she redistributed it. She just basically created a new version with the Katie Media, and you can actually own a sealed copy of the original Killer Clowns from Outer Space. She licensed some of this stuff. She gets the license. I think she has some Star Wars re-releases that were licensed by Disney. She has this Killer Clowns from Outer Space, as well as she does transfers of modern horror movies. So, as of now, what I know of, there's only 2 places that partner with her. One of them is VHS Hero up in Chatsworth. Shout out to Ryan and Haley. They're like wonderful, wonderful people. They know their stuff. They have a really awesome store if you're up in that Chatsworth area. And not just that, like this show here is pretty much about physical media. We talk about comics, pop culture, and things like this. Physical media VHS tapes. VHS Hero is connected to We Can Be Hero Comics in Chatsworth. It's a premium comic shop up there. So you can get your comic book fix and your VHS fix all in the same space. Go check them out. But they partner with KD Video. I actually reached out before I did this. I got Ryan and Haley's blessing because I'm all about, as you know, on this show, we're all about community. We're about people, we're being accessible in fandoms. I don't want anybody to ever feel like something is being gatekept from them, or that even like what we do at DINC Video, what we do here at the Deep Bridges Nerdcast is being gatekept. So we're all about opening things up. We're all about building community, helping people discover their fandoms. In starting DINC Video, I even talked to Ryan and Haley initially about like what I was thinking about doing, and they gave me some really great advice along the way. If you're in Southern California, once more, we have VHS Hero. There's Be Kind Video in Burbank. There's Whammy. There's Vidiots in Hollywood. We're lucky enough here on the West Coast to have a handful of little spots. And now in Orange County, we have DINC Video, which is like crazy. Suncoast Video never hired me, so I just created my own many years later. And look at me now, Suncoast. Where are you, Suncoast? Here I am. But as far as I know, VHS Hero is the only place that has KD Video stuff physically. And now, if you're in the Orange County area, you can get some of Katie's tapes. Here's some of my favorites, right? We've talked about this movie on the podcast before. One of Didi's favorites. This is hard because it's like a lenticular. There we go. Look at this. That is Weapons. And you're like, wait a second. Weapons, like the Josh Brolin movie that just came out last year, the 2025 film about the kids that disappear. Yes. Weapons. Katie makes really awesome things like that. She's a very talented artist. She draws all these covers herself. She designs the packages. She designs the boxes. She does the transfer. This is the art, right? The art really is her art. Like the things that she is making here. She is a ridiculously talented artist, you know, doing this like great art in homage to the films that she loves. And then creating the art that is the VHS tape. And I was just having a discussion with somebody at the shop today about how much I love the fact that these tapes are like, I'll pick up a movie and there's something like a little bit more interesting and enticing from the packaging on a VHS tape than sometimes even a trailer. Like maybe a trailer won't sell me in a movie, but there's like enough mystery or information on the tape with some photos, a really well-written synopsis, and a really cool cover, right? This is why people like Drew Struzan rose to fame. Because in an age, right, where everything at the moment it seems to be AI, it was awesome that this was actually things that were designed by people. They put the thought into how are we just going to write a paragraph in the back of a tape to entice people to watch it? What quotes are we going to put? What photos, what still shots are we going to have? that is an art form. And Miss Katie, and Katie as in Kadi, you are a master at your art because you do exactly so. This is one of my other favorites. So we now have these on the shelves at DINC Video, as well as we will be having them at our pop-ups, especially this Friday the 13th. We will be debuting that at our first pop-up. I bought this from her a while back ago, and I always would play it at the pop-ups because I get all the CRT TVs. And I kid you not, it gets so much attention. Oh, what's up? Miho VHS tapes, by the way. If you guys want some custom VHS tapes in the chat, we need to get some of this guy's stuff in here too. He makes customs of some actual tapes. And we did the giveaway for the Ninja Turtles part 3. So yeah, like all in the same vein. This is a really cool community where there are people taking classic VHS as well as still making new VHSs. But I would always play Sinners on my CRTs. And I kid you not, like people would always ask me, they're like, how are you playing Sinners? What is this? And I'd be like, oh yeah, this is, excuse me, this is Katie from Katie Video. And I would show them the box. And at some point I even had somebody, this is a $20 tape. You can go to our website right now, get this for $20, worth every penny. If you have a VCR and a CRT, definitely worth every penny. We're selling them at our pop-ups for the price that she sells them on her store. We're not charging anything additional. You can call me out on it if so. Unless you're a real asshole, then I'll upcharge you. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Maybe I will. Who knows? Don't be an asshole. But yeah, like somebody at some point offered to pay me $50 and I paid $20 for the tape. So I was like, thought about it for a second, but also no, I was like, no, like I don't, you can buy this right now, $20. Why would you buy it for me for 50? And they're like, oh, I just want to leave with it. And I was like, look, support the artist, give it just to the person directly and whatnot. Not that I probably wouldn't have bought another one, but yeah, you guys support these artists. And I don't feel good about being like, I'm just going to upcharge for something that you could easily get for $20 just because you're there in person. She's in Southern California. He's in Southern California. Everybody came relatively quickly. They came relatively quickly for me. But yeah, we have a bunch of things. We have some Nightmare on Elm Street. We have Coraline, a bunch of other Katie videos there. I'm going to kind of carve out her own little section so you guys can browse. Perfect Valentine's Day gift, by the way, for that physical media lover in your life. Yeah, so we have shout out to Katie Video. If you can't make it to one of our pop-ups, if you can't make it to VHS Hero, KADIvideo.com. You can see she's got a bunch of different things. She's got the Substance. We got Death Proof. Well, look at that. I dropped all the tapes. We'll have a couple there as well. She has plenty on our site that we won't have, and definitely worth checking out. So that's going to be this Friday the 13th, free to cinema. We have some Katie Video stuff. We're going to have plenty of Jason Voorhees stuff. A photo op, having a good time overall at the Frida. Maybe some free stuff. I have to dig up what kind of cool stuff that we can give out for free. As well as, so that's this coming Friday. And then the following Saturday, we'll be back at the Frida Cinema. Normally do one event there a month. This month, they invited me to 2 events because it just makes sense. And the second event is actually a screening of Carrie. Now, if you guys watch this channel, if you've watched the abdominal stretch, you will see that, or if you follow the Deep Issues Nerdcast, if you're watching on Instagram, I'm streaming from DINC Video. If you're watching on YouTube, we're streaming from our normal YouTube channel. If you're watching from other spots, it's likely Deep Issues Nerdcast. But Saturday mornings, we talk wrestling. And me and one Mr. Nathan Haskill had a discussion about Carrie, about how he thought the movie was overrated. And he couldn't be more wrong. I don't know what to say. Like, it's a masterpiece. It's a movie that doesn't get recognized enough for its like singular shots. When you talk about wonders, when you talk about crane shots, Carrie, Brian De Palma's a masterpiece. Just the prom scene alone, where they do the first reveal of the pig's blood over the stage and how that is done, setting the stage, establishing shot, moving in on Carrie the table, moving in on this like elaborate plan being executed by the school bullies, setting the stage for where the bullies are hiding, how they're rigging this thing up, camera moving onto the stage, panning up. I'm sorry, not panning up. I guess it would not tilting up. It's a crane, so it would just be moving up, whatever that would be called. Revealing the blood, looking into the pig's blood, coming back down, zooming in on Carrie. Like, it's a minimalist filmmaking style in the most brilliant way. I love, love, love Carrie for that reason. On top of, I mean, also young John Travolta, just a really cool classic movie. But at 8 p.m., the Frida Cinema is having a Carrie prom night celebration. That's on the 21st. If you got a taste for terror, take Carrie to the prom. We're celebrating the Frida Cinema's 12th birthday. So, oh, wow. This is news to me. So this is going to be the Frida's 12th birthday. Once more, nonprofit. Everybody there's volunteers. With a very special 50th anniversary screening of Brian De Palma's horror masterpiece, Carrie. So put on your best tux or dress and join them for a night of music, photo ops, vendors, prom court crowning, and much more. We're going to be one of the vendors. Cool. Yeah, I guess I got to get my best prom outfit together now. Man, what am I going to wear to the prom? That's tough. Yeah, this is from Stephen King's debut novel. Like, what's more, if you don't know about Carrie, isolated young girl, bullied, turns out she shines pretty well. I think that's kind of like what's going on now with the Stephen King universe, is everybody that has like these powers is technically just all the shining. But yeah, 8 p.m. Doors open at 7. There's going to be a Carrie prom night after party. The DINC video pop-up will be there. I do have, I think, like 2 copies of Carrie, and that's just whoever first kind of, I don't know, maybe I'll gift it to the Frida, one of them to the Frida, since it's their 12th birthday. Yeah, that's in February. As far as, I think, events, that is it for February. We're like, as far as pop-ups, still come to, DINC video in Orange. Then in March, so if you're avid, like if you're listening to the show or if you're following along at DINC video, you'll see that we have been granted access to the LED wall at Chapman Crafted Beer. What we do there is every first Monday of the month, because they've been doing these movie Mondays, I plug in a VCR to their giant video LED wall and we watch some VHS tapes. We have a feature presentation that starts an hour into our event. The first hour gives people to get settled, get their drinks, get a burger, whatever food truck is there. And we watch stuff like Beavis and Butthead. I'm looking for some pre-recorded things of like MTV News with Kurt Loder, some TRL, a lot of the 90s nostalgia. We watched some Pee-wee's Playhouse. But we did a soft launch or a soft opening with like about 3 days to promote to do the first one. And that was of Cool World, the Boschke classic. Cool World starring Brad Pitt and Kim Basinger. Insane thing. I'll be posting about it from the discussion we had last week about that. But next month, I know it's like the first month and we're already off schedule. Although I did say first Monday of every month. Next month, there's another Friday the 13th. And we're doing Friday the 13th part 1, part 2 this Friday. And I figured next Friday the 13th, why not do Friday the 13th part 3? Now, the cool thing about Friday the 13th part 3, once more, it was originally one of those red and blue 3D movies. That was the gimmick. Because, 3D, I mean, it's not the nice 3D that we know now. It is the cyan and red 3D, where it's like the red and blue glasses. But I have it on VHS. And I want to try to look up what year that movie came out. Friday the 13th, part 3, 1982. Yeah, it's this classic red and blue 3D. The VHS that I have came with the little red and blue 3D glasses, but we're gonna put it on that giant LED wall and we're gonna put it to the test. And I have about 100 red and blue 3D glasses, popcorn, good food, good beer. But initially, when I was presenting it to the folks at Chapman Crafted Beer, I'm like, all right, this first Monday, I'm gonna do this movie. And then Jen, the lovely Jen who works there, was like, well, why don't you just do it on Friday the 13th? And I was like, well, why don't I just do it on Friday the 13th then? So yeah, this Friday the 13th in March. So Friday the 13th February, Friday the 13th March, we're going to be doing Friday the 13th part 3 in 3D. So you have the opportunity to kind of see Friday the 13th part 1 through 3 with myself and the rest of the gang from the Deeper Issues Nerdcast. And then lastly, in March, we have WonderCon. If you know WonderCon, Anaheim Convention Center, beautiful Anaheim, California, just literally right across the street from Disneyland. It's one of my favorite cons because it's accessible. It's a really good, if you've never been to like a Comic Con, if you're like, I'm not a Comic Con goer, I can't recommend WonderCon enough. If you are somebody who's been to hundreds of cons, I can't recommend WonderCon enough. Like it's one of those really cool conventions where it's a great venue, great cosplayers. A lot of the like really good cosplayers turn out because the photo ops there are endless, including the photo op that I'm about to tell you about. The location is amazing. And yeah, there's always like really cool panels, really cool signings, really cool exhibitors and whatnot. It's the same folks who do San Diego Comic Con, is WonderCon. And it is a premium convention. Like it is, even if you're not from Southern California, I would be like, this is a convention like worth flying in for, because you can like double up on like a Disney day if you wanted to, or do a Disney trip with the people that are probably at the con. Great place to meet your community, create your fandom, get all the like connect with the nerdy mothership. Yeah, so crazy. This is our first time being an exhibitor there. It's a little nerve-wracking, it's a little scary because we're like, let's take the risk, let's do something cool. But I am spinning the hamster wheel over here to make sure that we bring something really cool with bringing DINC video to WonderCon in 2026. We definitely want to like hit the ground running. We want to make a splash. This is our first exhibitor spot, not only for DINC video, but for Deeper Issues Nerdcast. Now that we actually have something to present that way. Excuse me. So we're already setting up kind of like a potential signing. I don't want to give it away just yet because I want to make it official when the time comes, and I have all the little duckies in a row. They're in a row. They're darn near in a row. I can tell you we're going to have the Katie video stuff up there. I'm trying to get Katie herself as well to come out, maybe hang out at our booth, interact with fans, fellow tape heads, people out there that maybe want to ask questions and, you know, I don't know, connect and get some cool physical media. We're going to be doing live interviews. That's the cool thing about WonderCon is that I've been lucky enough to be able to do some really great interviews there with some really great creators. I mean, if you've been to the Deeper Issues Nerdcast, that's what we focus on: creators, cons, and cosplay, comic book creators, and artists. Some of the most amazing people in the world. They're genuinely people that love the craft of storytelling and that are not confined by, I guess, like the lanes that are usually presented in other forms of visual media. I love it. I love to get those insights. I love to get those interviews. I love to highlight those creators and those artists. And every WonderCon, we have been lucky enough to be like press or be invited via another booth, usually Golden Apple. But I'm always like scrambling. I'm like, where do we like, One time I got Tom Neely, and I should probably still release this as a full interview. I got Tom Neely of the Humans and Henry and Glenn Forever. I'm like, dude, let's just go have a drink at the bar at the Hilton and film that. And we did. We had some drinks and we just chatted in a little busy area. But now with this booth, it's going to present the opportunity for us to be able to do some live interviews right there at the booth, as well as have the photo op with our set, with our couch, with all the nostalgic vibes, that you can come and take a photo in. Like we don't have to be involved in that process whatsoever. You come and just enjoy the space, as well as maybe one or two big signings that do align branding wise with the whole VHS world and nostalgia world. And it's 90% there. I can't reveal it just yet, but it is. Damn, it's good. It's a good thing. I can't say anything else. Maddie, it is at Anaheim, California, at the Anaheim Convention Center. You can go check it out. I think wondercon.org or just comiccon.org. You can see WonderCon, but it's such a great con. It really is. Like, you can see, like, this is maybe just like it's insane to me, but I genuinely, like, I'm always frustrated at cons with like the way that the food is set up. And I love this about the Anaheim Convention Center and WonderCon. Like, there's a long, like, walkway, like cobblestone brick road thing where they line up all of the food trucks. And, you know, look, Southern California. This is OC. There's some food trucks out here. And these food trucks throw down. They don't mess around. So I think like 2 years ago, myself, Ty, shout out to the birthday boy, Caesar. We basically said, you know, I'm just going to try something like 2 items from every one of these food trucks and just rank them. And we did. And we ate a lot of food that year. And it was all worth it. I mean, obviously you're paying like con prices because I'll tell you guys right now, I got the lowdown because I'm like, man, some of these prices are astronomical on these food trucks. And I know that this isn't the average cost. The Anaheim Convention Center charges a pretty astronomical amount, or a percentage, I want to say, on some of these food trucks. So they have to adjust their pricing. But once more, food trucks are all like small businesses. It's a great way to support a small business. There's a lot of really good food at WonderCon. So you can find that, or I'll repost that in the stories here at DINC Video and at DBridge's Nerdcast if you guys want to see the time that we ate from every food truck at WonderCon. But I love that about it. The food is right there and it's all really good. As well as like all the really good cosplayers, as well as the beautiful fountain, the beautiful kind of just like facade of the building as you're like walking up. As well as it's right across the street from Disneyland. As well as the bar at the Hilton and whatever hotels are around there. If you kind of want to step off and you're like a day drinker from New Orleans, like myself, that's a thing. You could do that. So we're going to be an exhibitor there all 3 days, March 27th through 29th, Anaheim Convention Center, WonderCon. We will be there. I'll be posting our official announcement. We did the announcement last week, but I just kind of, I guess, wanted to follow up on a little bit more of the cool things that we have in the works or that are happening. That's about it. So this Friday 13th, Frida Theater, Frida Cinema, Santa Ana, California, 4th Street, Friday 13th, part 1 and 2, DINC Video. We'll be back at the Frida Saturday the 21st for their 12-year birthday party / Carrie prom. March, Friday the 13th, we will be doing the Friday the 13th part 3 in 3D at Chapman Crafted Brewery. Food and drink specials. The screening is free for that one. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but that Friday the 13th in 3D, it's a free screening. First 100 people get a free pair of 3D glasses to watch the movie. And there's free popcorn. So it's a free screening and free popcorn, giant LED wall, good food, good beer. And then we're topping it all off at the end of March with WonderCon. First time being exhibitors. Hopefully, look, we are setting a goal to be the destination spot inside of that convention, on that con floor, the spot that everybody hopefully will believe talking about will be Deep Rooted Nerdcast DINC video. We're prepared. We're bringing all the charm. Try to charm the pants off some people. Yeah, there may be one other event in between that is kind of up in the air. But that is a nutshell the next 2 months, everything that we're working for, everything that we're prepping for. As far as the normal show stuff, I did also get a haul really quick, and I will kind of just talk about, because I did stop at a comic shop. So if you're like, hey, I'm here to learn about comics, what we do normally on the show, and myself and Didi and Ty are here, we highlight new #1 comics you need prior knowledge or insight to be able to enjoy. So you don't need like 30 years of backstory or history to walk into your comic shop, as we want to introduce you to a book that maybe like you can just walk in and pick up right away and not have to know about the Peter Parker, Ben Reilly saga, or who also donned the Venom symbiote, or how many Earths there are in the DC universe. You don't need to know any of that stuff to read some of these comics. So I went to 2 comic shops today. I went to Comics, Tunes, and Toys in Tustin, one of my favorite spots. They're a comic shop, like comic book lovers comic shop. A lot of great trades, a lot of toys. I think I picked up some like Super Nintendo games. That's one thing I should mention. Actually, we're going to be doing at WonderCon. I have a whole setup here for, you just want to swing by the booth and play some Super Nintendo. That more than likely is going to be an option for you at the DINC booth, at the Deep Rooted Nerdcast booth, at WonderCon. But yeah, and then I also stopped at Amazing Comics in Westminster. I love that shop. They're very indie heavy. A lot of the books that we feature here, darn, I'm trying to open this box. A lot of the books that we feature here are independent, basically like not self-published, because Image isn't a self-published. Like it's a pretty large company now, but it allows creators to retain the rights of their creations. So it's a creator-owned publisher. As well as this book that I'm opening up right now. This actually was just on my doorstep. This came in the mail because I'm that kind of nerd. So before I get into the 2 books that I pulled from the comic shop, I'm very excited about this because, it looks like they sent, oh, wow. Wait a second. Uncivilized. You guys sent me some extra stuff. I like this. This is a live unboxing, an unintentional live unboxing, but it is a live unboxing. Look, if you don't know about the Humans, it is what if a 1970s, 1960s biker exploitation film took place on the planet of the apes. The Humans is that. It's the Wild Angels meets Planet of the Apes, and it's fantastic, and it's beautiful, and it's clever, and exploitative, and dirty, and dark, and violent, and insane. Keenan Marshall Keller and Tom Neely, the 2 co-creators of that book. That'll be another thing that I should post, as far as for if you guys are tuning in, I should definitely post that interview with them, because I definitely want to. I love that book. I was obsessed with it, and I've done a recommendation for it. And then they came out with the sequel. So I think initially they were under Image, and now they're with Uncivilized Books. And this is from the world of the Humans, The Jungle, which is the humans in jail. Because the first 10 issues, there's only 2 volumes of the Humans. If you look, if that sounds cool to you, which it is, you would probably really love The Jungle. And The Jungle is this like oversized, beautiful magazine format. I have to be conscious of what I'm showing you, because there is like adult ape subject matter in here, as crazy as that sounds. Yeah, shout out to Tom Neely, Keenan Marshall Keller. This was on my doorstep from Uncivilized Books. With this one, I haven't found it in my local comic shop. Not sure how that's working, but I did go to Uncivilized Books' website, uncivilizedbooks.com, and I was able to subscribe that way. And I want to say there's still a few copies of The Jungle from Tom Neely and Keenan Marshall Keller, and Uncivilized, as well as it looks like they sent me something else, chapter 1 of something called The Sickening, or The Sickness. Sorry. Ongoing thing I can't read on the show. That looks really awesome. And I'll report back on this one. This looks like some great art. By the way, Jenna Cha and Lonnie Nadler. Story and script by, and then I guess Jenna Cha does all the art. And then letters by Hassan Atsame Aloha. Yeah, this looks really cool. I'll definitely be giving that a read. That popped on my front doorstep. And then the two books that I picked up, speaking of doorsteps, the two books that I picked up at my local comic shop from Image Comics and Top Cow is that thing on the doorstep. Number 1. This is a miniseries premiere. It's 1 of 5. Sorry, I need to have a drink here. Everybody's getting sick around here, so I need to avoid that. Daniel Upton, Edward Derby have been best friends almost their entire lives, right up to the point that Daniel shoots Edward dead in the Arkham Sanatorium. A crime Daniel swears he didn't commit, despite all the evidence. What happened on that fateful day in Arkham? What is the truth behind the seemingly mindless act of violence? Witness the beginning of this doomed relationship, and Edward slows descent into a horrifying world beyond his control. From award-winning writer Simon Burks of Antarctica, Sinners, Gone, The Shadow Over the Innsmouth, with artist Will Roberts of The Dark Cold Dog. I haven't read that one. The Blood Below and Remother comes a chilling tale based on an H.P. Lovecraft. Man, H.P. Lovecraft has so many freaking stories where I'm just like, oh, this is an H.P. Lovecraft story. But now that I'm seeing it, there's tentacles in the back. So, of course, it's an H.P. Lovecraft story. Tentacles give it away. That's from Image Comics. Just dropped today. 32 pages, $3.99. The thing on the doorstep, issue 1 of 5. As well as this. I mean, this caught my attention, and I didn't plan for this. Genuinely, sometimes I just walk in the comic shop and see what's catching my eye. Obviously, sometimes publishers do send us stuff to share, in which case I am probably pretty transparent, but none of these people are like sponsoring me or anything. This is genuinely just what caught my attention, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. But from Robert Vendetti, Trevor Hairsine, and David Stewart, and Bad Idea Comics comes, I love this cover, Ordained. Number 1. Robert Vendetti is a New York Times bestselling author from Superman 78, which is the continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman story in comic book form, and Planet Death. And he joins forces with powerhouse artist Trevor Hairsine of X-Men and 10-time Eisner award-winning colorist Dave Stewart of Hellboy and Star Wars to deliver a brutal, no-holds-bar action crime comic that will leave you breathless. It's about Father Craig, who became a priest late in his life, but he's determined to make up for his lost time. Along with his regular duties of his St. Louis church, he also performs the prayers of the last rites to patients on their deathbed at the nearby hospital. One day he gives these sacraments to Cormac Bryan, who doctors say won't last the night. Bryan, like many others, has turned to God only at his end. He hasn't been to church in decades. Father Roy is eager to hear his confession. But what starts as petty crime from a lifetime ago quickly become a horrifying litany of gangland violence and killings. Man, sounds like Paulie Walnuts or Tony Soprano were on their deathbed or something. Cormac is no ordinary man. He is, in fact, the head of an Irish mafia. There we go. Bam. I didn't even finish it. So he's the head of an Irish mob. God offers forgiveness to all those who truly repent, and Father Roy completes his task by absolving Brian of his mortal sins, leaving the man to die at peace until the next morning when Brian makes a miraculous medical recovery. I'm in, folks. The art in this is beautiful. The coloring is worthy of those 10 Eisners. It's also this like matted kind of like papery material. It's not like a gloss material. Smells like that Scholastic Book Fair, which we all love. It's 48 pages. It's $5.99 from Bad Idea Comics. Ordained. If you watched the show before, there's no secret I'm a massive Sopranos nerd. That's my Roman Empire. And Ordained kind of falls adjacent to that sort of universe. And I'm down with it. I'm down with that cause. Cool. That is today's haul. That was available at your local comic shops. Give those comics a read. Let us know what you think in the comments below. That's really all I got for you folks. I'm not going to go through any news yet. We'll wait for Ty and Didi. We'll be back next week to our regularly scheduled program. Don't worry. Didi is a lot funnier than I am, clearly, when I'm just here by myself. Saturday mornings, we have a look. There's a lot of news from the world of wrestling that I'll hold out on. Myself, Nathan Haskell, Pump 61, will be here talking the weekly news in the world of pro wrestling, WWE, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, all those things, all the cartoon world of pro wrestling. Yeah, I don't know. Do I stream all night from Maddie? No. Maddie. Oh, look. Okay, so I'm looking at the chat now and I see Pumps in our Instagram, DINC. What's up, Pumps? Maddie on YouTube. I don't stream all night. Eventually, I will tell you guys. So right now we have 2 live streams on the Deep Richard Nerdcast network, if you will. Wednesday nights, we do the Deep Richard Nerdcast, normally myself, Olivia, Ty, and now we have a rotating spot for a guest. That's on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day. We break down the weekly Geeky Zeitgeist. Saturday mornings, myself, Pump 61, Nathan Haskell. We talk the world of pro wrestling. And I'm open. I'm out there. I will welcome people. We at the Deep Richard Nerdcast are looking for new content, new creators. I at some point would love to have a live stream, not necessarily involving me, but just have some brand aligned live streams happening here on a nightly basis. And that's what we're going to work up to. I would love to do one just focusing on VHS, maybe in physical media or film. I will stream all night for a crisp $5 bill. Look, if we're going to turn this thing into a telethon, we can make it happen. But no, it is much more of a long episode. I'm pretty impressed that I've actually gotten this far. Damn, I can talk, apparently. I've been talking for 50 minutes here. So yeah, now just add 2 more elements into that mix and we'll double that time. On Saturday mornings, 2 more elements of that. Yeah. But yeah, we have more content coming out. I'm talking to other creators currently as well. But we want to do a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are 7 days of the week, in case you guys didn't know. Live stream here on the Deep Richard Nerdcast, and we'll get there. This year, we just got to get through these first couple of cons and see how we grow and how we, what moves are to be made after that. Yeah. Look, that's it. You can find me here at Deep Richard Nerdcast. My name is Pablo Ramirez Estevez. Check us out at DINC Video, unless you're watching at DINC Video. Check us out on the Deep Richard Nerdcast. If you're on the Deep Richard Nerdcast, check out DINC Video. They're one in the same. DINC Video is our boots on the ground. Deep Richard Nerdcast is our voice online. Until next time, folks, thank you guys for hanging in with me for these 50 minutes. I was like, this is going to be a shorty. I kept it under an hour. Yeah. Be kind to one another. Keep your mind broad. And may all of your issues be comic books. Yes, we will be talking about the Super Bowl halftime show next week as well. I got a lot of thoughts and feelings.
Fantasies of God.